I wanted to talk to you about microphone technology. I remember very well when all the rage was Kunstkopf. Do you remember Kunstkopf? Which was this microphone shaped like a human head, and they said that was because, you know, obviously we hear sound a particular way, and so you want the microphone to hear the sound exactly the same way. So you have these microphones placed on either side of actually a head shaped.
Yeah. And the rubber was this, you know, calculated to be the same density as a human head.
Yeah.
The one fallacy with that setup was that they created this head, and then they put the microphones in the head, and they created like earlobes and an ear canal. And the thing was that you were then duplicating the ear canal. So you had an ear canal recording, but then when you were listening again and you're putting headsets on, it was going through your own ear canal. So it was...
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it wasn't exactly like... We got into trouble a few times at CBC, but we always said that the best examples of Kunstkopf recording was when we did these demos, and it said, "I'm now behind you and I'm moving to your left, and you know, now I'm moving over to your right side," and that's what you could say, "Oh yeah, I can hear that."
Uh-huh.
But if you could also say, "I'm moving to your left" as you were moving to the right, and you say, "Yeah, I can hear that."
Right.
So there was one time when all the regional directors of radio was in Toronto, and the producer in Toronto who was championing the Kunstkopf had put together a whole series of like drama and music and everything else, and set up in Studio G a whole set of headphones, and he was going to play this for them. Well, we'd been playing around. We found that, you know, if we just took a couple of microphones and just put it on either side of a box or a dummy head or something like that, that we thought that worked better. So we had done somebody had recorded a band down at the C&E band shell or something, just with two microphones with could have been a Jacqueline disc in between or something, you know. And somehow this track got edited in the middle of this demo tape. And they got to it, and all the regional directors listened to it, and they said, yeah, it was really interesting, but by far the best example was that band recording down at the C&E. And the producer was furious. He was just beside himself.
Oh, that's good. So how long did the Kunstkopf phase last?
Not that long. Some people held on for a long time. There was actually, Schups actually came out with a sphere that was just a round sphere, but the microphones were mounted right on the edge of the sphere. Mm-hmm. And it was, A, it was better quality microphone capsules, but B, I think it worked better. I used that a few times on some recordings. Mm-hmm. And that actually went for a while. It's not... They sort of went one step further, and they mounted some figure of 8 microphones on it as well, and they were doing some surround with that, and it seemed to work well. But it's just it was just a bit. It's a bit of a cumbersome setup to take, and also you can't. If you're using Kunstkopf with a sphere, you basically are limited to that one setup, you know, for recording. And if you need to spot something or bring something a little bit out in the mix or whatever, you can't really add anything because it just destroys the whole environment of it. So it didn't last that long, really.